Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here today. I'm driving home on a Sunday. It awfully feels pretty weird because of the fact that San Francisco 49ers aren't playing. We played on Thursday. We got the big win against the Rams. I was already at work, so I turned on the London game and I watched that one, and I just saw that huge upset by Denver coming all the way back to beat Philly. Where Denver pretty much scored all of their points in the fourth quarter. So one hell of a day. I don't know what my afternoon game is going to be when I get home, but get home, fry up some lupia, and then watch Sunday night football. Should be one hell of a good night. But tomorrow on Monday Night Raw, I'm going to talk about one match that, honestly, I don't really know what we're doing here. Becky Lynch is going out to prove herself to be one of the greatest women's wrestlers. The last 2 weeks, she has been hysterical over the fact that, they lost at WrestlePalooza. Seth Rollins is going through this whole deal where, he's got this whole big mind control thing going over him that he needs to get this win over Cody Rhodes. Basically, I think that when it comes down to the upcoming Crown Jewel pay-per-view next Saturday, I think it's just going to be winning by numbers. Roman looks like he's going off to do his own thing, trying to get Jey Uso to follow along with him. So I think that at Crown Jewel, if Seth just brings down Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, he's just going to win by the numbers alone, because Cody has been just working this guy to shreds the last few weeks. You saw on SmackDown, Paul Heyman, trying to give his wisdom to Seth Rollins, don't do it. And he just runs right into getting hit with the crossroads by Cody Rhodes. So, I don't know. Becky has been pretty much doing her own thing, going off on her own. Seth really hasn't been paying any attention to her. Last week, she pretty much, decks Tozawa. And right after that, goes over and attacks Maxine Dupri. So on Monday Night Raw, we're going to be getting Maxine Dupri versus Becky Lynch for the second time in what I believe is an Intercontinental title shot. Now, Maxine Dupri, a few months ago, she was delivered an Intercontinental title shot where they were building her up, that she was finally ready to go off on her own and have her own singles match, I think they're kind of playing off on the whole deal of, on Twitter, 2 years ago, she had a house show match, and she was coming to the back, and she was kind of getting ridiculed, and she got dragged online, and a lot of people were saying that it wasn't fair. You can't get better if you go out there and, you do your best, but people are still saying you suck and things like that. Maxine Dupri, I don't remember her in NXT at all. I don't really watch NXT. I don't know how she got pushed up to the main roster. I think it was just to be a manager for the model gimmick. Then she ended up falling in love with Otis, much like what's her name? Rose. Gosh darn it, I forgot her name. She's been gone so long. Just basically Otis just wins over the chicks. And, since he's been injured, I see him doing a lot of things for WWE. I just don't see him on TV. I don't see him with Tozawa, so I don't really know what's going on, with this group at all. I remember when Maxine Dupri formed a tag team with Natalya. And I don't know if they wrestled, strictly dark matches. I don't even know if the main event is still a show. So I don't know where Natalya was training Maxine Dupri. I thought that it was to set up them becoming a tag team to go to Evolution. and get in that 4-way match where I believe that's where Charlotte and Alexa Bliss became a team at Evolution. But if I'm thinking right, I don't think Alexa Bliss and Charlotte won the titles until SummerSlam, if I remember right. So maybe their first time it wasn't enough to get it done because of the 4 teams in there. But I don't even think Maxine Dupri and Natalya were used on Evolution like that. So I don't really know what that deal was. So Maxine Dupri can only get pushed around so much. I don't want to come out and say that Becky Lynch is going to lose on Monday, but we already know that CM Punk is going to be in the house. And I kind of thought that was a little weird because of the fact they were kind of like just making it seem like he was going to be on the show, like he was going to have a promo. They weren't setting up a match. He's not on Crown Jewel. I don't really know how they would use him at Crown Jewel almost at this point. Him and LA Knight are kind of like on the same page as of right now. They're not really feuding. Roman is going to be on Crown Jewel. He doesn't have a match yet, but it's not like Roman is going to call out Punk and they're going to have a match. That doesn't make a lot of sense. So I don't really know what Punk's doing at Raw, but you got to think if Punk is at Raw, AJ's going to be in tow. Is AJ going to come out and set up Becky Lynch to lose so we could get a Becky Lynch versus AJ match maybe at War Games, which would be the next big pay-per-view, Survivor Series. That's going to be after Thanksgiving. It sure seems like it. So I don't know why you bring AJ back just to have a tag match at WrestlePalooza and then not really follow it up with anything. I think you would be trying to get her out there on the show as much as you can. I think they fell in love with the numbers that came with AJ returning to Monday Night Raw in Chicago. And then it seemed like every time they were putting her out there, they were kind of using her as the savior of the show, that people were going to be just watching the show to see her or see the online clips. Hopefully they passed around, and then it would bring more people back that kind of were watching in that 2010s time when AJ was such a big star. I don't know, but they signed her to a real contract where she's going to be on the show as much as they need her, not like a part-time deal or anything like that. So when they're going to start doing that, I'm not sure, but I think that they would get on it and just push that storyline going towards Survivor Series. So I'd be really surprised if Maxine Dupri wins that Intercontinental title, even if it's just like a 1-week run, because that title is so new and it's so easy for people to remember, who's held that title. You can kind of recite the history of it, but I think something funny is going down. And I wouldn't be surprised if AJ Lee is the reason come Monday. I know it was kind of really weird of the matches to talk about for Raw. We talk about Maxine Dupri versus Becky Lynch. But I think they're doing this match for a reason.